Hi, I'm Dominianne, and the exercises I'm about to show you can be an absolute game changer for feelings of pain or instability in your knees. They can also help you vastly increase your leg strength just by releasing the bottom part of your leg. So let's talk about why. You've got two bones in your lower leg, the tibia, which is the big one that you can feel if you track your fingers down the front, and the fibula, which is a smaller bone that comes up along the side of your leg, the outside of your leg. Both of these bones connect down at your ankle. They end in something called the malleoli. Malleoli is plural, malleolus is singular. So the malleolus for the tibia is on the inside, the malleolus for the fibula is on the outside. And they hold on to the top of your ankle bone or your foot bone called the talus in a shape that looks a little bit like a wrench. So if you just want to go ahead and hold your hands here for a second around those round bones and flex and point your foot, you should be able to feel some movement down there. The bones moving beneath your fingers and also the muscles that are making that happen. Now take a moment to bring your fingers to the outside of your leg and see if you can feel the fibula gliding back and forth beneath your fingers as you articulate your foot. The tibia and the fibula are meant to glide on each other in the lower leg as we do all of the different motions that require us to locomote throughout our day. Walking, jumping, standing, and any of the other creative things that you want to do with your body. They're connected by a strip of fascia that wraps around them, kind of like pantyhose if they were sealed on the inside. And that allows them to move on each other without the fear of them somehow coming apart. It basically gives them a little more stability, but also motion. But wait, there's more. There are tons of muscles that help us do this. We're not going to go into naming them. I just want you to feel them. So go ahead and wrap your hands around your shin now and just make some foot circles. So can you feel the concert of muscles that are working in your calf to help your foot move in space? Now, when these muscles get locked up, it means that the tibia and the fibula aren't able to glide easily inside the knee joint. Let's clarify one thing. It's only your tibia that's forming the knee joint. The fibula actually attaches up on the outside edge of the tibia and kind of stabilizes it from below. So if you bring your hands up around the knee and then find the little bump that's on the outside of the knee, that's where the fibula meets your tibia. Go ahead and just move your foot up and down a couple of times and then bring your hands around that bony lump and see if you can feel the glide happening up there. If you don't, that's a sign that you need a little more mobilization for your fibula. So let's go ahead and start doing that. We're going to take our thumbs into the back of our calf and just dig in there into the big meaty muscle that we call the gastrocnemius. Try to spread it and go all the way down your leg like that. When you find hot or sticky spots, give them a little more love. Take your time going down the leg. You can get creative with your hand positions. And then when you get towards the sole of the foot, we'll do a little bit of mobilizations for your foot too. So you can cross that foot over the other leg for easier access and take a moment to turn your foot up and down a couple of times. More, if you want to pause the video or if you're getting into any of this, feel free to explore. It's really good for you. Another one of my favorite exercises here is to thread the fingers through the toes to spread the bones of the foot and give more space for the muscles inside the foot, aka the intrinsic muscles, which are always working to mobilize you too. So now hold on to your ankle and just make some foot circles. As you do that, squeeze your toes into your fingers, spread them. Let it be a concert of movement between your hands and your toes. And don't forget to change directions. For the next exercise, you're going to want a pair of socks. Roll them up in a tight little ball, and then go ahead and stand up. I'd like you to place your heel on the ball of socks, and then just track your knee back and forward over that a couple of times. Try to keep the pressure down through the middle of your heel on your socks as you do this. Now take a step back and move the roll of socks right to where the heel meets the back of the arch. I'd like you to roll your foot side to side. over those socks and see if you can keep your toes flat as you do so. If you see them moving with you, it's fine, but keep pushing the heads of all 5 toes down. And then we're going to slide a little further. And here, let's work on doming the foot. So you're going to squeeze the foot up around the ball of socks and then spread those toes out. Do that about 4 to 8 times. And then keep on inching down the foot. So now we're at the middle of the arch. We'll roll it side to side. And then play with a little doming. Lifting up, trying to lift up right up on top of the socks. And then descend those bones down. And you might notice that you have some feelings coming up your shin into your knee as you do that. You might not, but if you pay attention, then you might. And then we'll move a little further down. If you need to roll up your socks again because they tend to flatten out, you should do so. Let's place the ball of socks right underneath the ball of the foot. And by that, I mean towards the arch. See if you can lift up there and then descend the bones. So you see the knuckles of your toe bones engaging and then spreading out. And then we'll go right underneath the knuckles or the ball of the foot. And a couple times just lift the toes up and then bring them down, spread them around the socks and squeeze with your toes at the end. Press the middle of your heel down firmly and roll pressure from one edge of the sock to the other. Try to keep the heel stable and mobilize the fronts of the toes. It's really normal to get foot cramps when you do this. Usually, I just tell people, if your feet are cramping, congratulations, you're alive. Finally, grab the ball of socks, throw it. Go ahead, walk around, catch it, and you can repeat that throwing action a few times. Now, just to give some work to the top of the foot, the extensor muscles, we're going to tuck the toes underneath and spread them, pushing the toenails down the carpet. Bend and straighten your leg a few times. Strengthening the muscles that not only cover the top of your foot, but also run up through the front of your shin. Then shake it out, put it down. We're going to do all of this just on one side in this video, but of course, afterwards, you should replay it and do the whole thing on the other side, because otherwise it's going to get jealous. So from here, we're going to use our socks as a cue to help us stabilize our foot alignment and allow everything above it to glide as we bend and straighten the knee. So lay those socks out long on the floor. And then we're going to move into a tall kneeling position. Put your front leg on the sock and feel that shape of the sock underneath your foot. I'd like you to press onto the big toe edge, on the baby toe edge, and also on the heel. So the foot is very flat and very grounded on the floor. And then we're going to move our knee back and then glide the knee forward, aiming it over the toes. We'll do this 4 times. So here we're training control for the lower leg. It's not that sometimes our knee can't move in other directions in space or the foot can't support you when you're grounding on different parts of it. But when we have a tendency of only using a certain part of our foot or only using a specific alignment within the shin as we move the knee back and forth, that means we don't have full range of motion. And that can cause a lot of gripping and pain up into the knee when the ability of the bones underneath can't help the knee joint itself move. After you have the hang of gliding the knee back and forth and keeping the pressure on the foot even, we're going to go ahead and add the ability to stand up on that. So if you need 2 stools to help support your body weight here or to hold a pole, I recommend that you take what you need to make it easy for your body to learn how to take weight within a new, more forgiving alignment. You can take your back foot on the walk, glide the knee forward over the foot, and then push down with both feet to raise the body up. Press everything underneath your knees down and start lifting the thighs up away from the knees into your hips to straighten. And then bend. As you bend, Keep pushing down on the foot. Drive your kneecap forward and descend. Try that 4 to 8 times. Keep the pressure on the foot even as you go up and down. This action is helping to make a lot of space inside the knee joint, which also allows the fluid that protects that joint to very easily lubricate all of the bones and ligaments that make up this very special joint for our bodies. And when you're done, come back down, give your foot a shake out. And I recommend that you try some balancing and maybe some squats just to see the vast difference in between both of your legs after you've done these simple mobilizations for the lower leg. Enjoy. I'm Dominique. Thank you for joining me.